The most recognizable and famous logos in the world are those of some of the most well-known organizations and brands. These may not appear the most complex in design, but they often boast hidden meaning, memorability, and impact. Nike's swoosh, designed by Carolyn Davidson, is one of the most iconic logos in the world, literally. The swoosh mimics the wings of Nike, the goddess of victory in Greek mythology and the company's namesake. It also looks like a checkmark and signifies getting things done, or in other words, just do it. With a fluid silhouette evoking motion and speed, you can see how much space there is to instill brand values into an abstract, minimal design. Chanel is a fashion label synonymous with luxury, elegance, and the founder's Parisian identity, hence her initials interlocking into the logo we recognize today. The color scheme is black and white. The brand name, the wordmark logo, often sits directly under it with plenty of negative space. There are no effects or enhancements beyond the interlocking. It's all very neat and perfectly symmetrical, perfect for the fashion house credited for the original, little, black dress. Its simplicity is what makes this logo potent. It can carry the brand's core values, even on an off-brand piece. The McDonald's logo, also known as the Golden Arches, was inspired by the real golden arches that were part of the fast food chain's original restaurant design. The logo design brings together the two arches that adorned the restaurant chains and turns it into a lettermark logo, an M. Over its signature red background, the iconic Golden Arches logo drives the 50s drive-in aesthetic of the chain. It's an image that's synchronous with the McDonald's brand because they've used it just about everywhere and anywhere. It's on their packaging, uniforms, physical buildings, adverts, any type of communication that involve McDonald's involve this logo. The lesson? Be consistent. The company that made an undeniable impact on one of the largest industries in the world is unsurprisingly futuristic looking and at first glance just a cool looking T. The company's founder described the logo as a cross-section of an electric motor. Similar to other famous brand logos, Tesla also incorporates the company's first letter and then infuses it with its branding. The T is also designed in a way to evoke an upwards motion powered by electricity and moving toward the future. Small details can add a great deal of meaning to an otherwise static monogram logo. From the biblical story of Adam and Eve to the apple that fell on Isaac Newton's head, apples are always around, holding quite a bit of symbolism. Why Apple chose an apple as its pictorial mark and why there is a bite in it has inspired lots of legends, from being the cyanide-laced apple that Alan Turing bit into to a visual pun on a bite. The designer Rob Janoff has said that the bite was a way to distinguish the very simple apple from another fruit. But the fact that the logo is so famous that it has not one, but several myths floating about it tells a story in itself. The symbol of the apple with the tiny aforementioned twist is a very sleek and literal visual cue for the word apple. The logo bridges age-old, earthy wisdom with what is contemporary, ever-changing and transient. It reads like a promise. Shell showcases the power of word-object association once again. The company's logo symbol has changed over the years, but one thing that has always been there is the image of a single seashell. The logo is also known as the pecten because it is modeled after the Pecten maximus, a mollusk with a distinctive and large shell. The current design's contrast between curves and points, primary colors red and yellow, suggest an Art Deco influence. Just because you're in one industry doesn't mean you have to find your visual inspiration from it only. Shell didn't look to garages or oil to find the basis for their logo. Think imaginatively. The inspiration behind the Starbucks siren emblem logo design is very much based on epics and myth-making. The founders chose the name Starbucks based on Moby Dick's most sensible character, Starbucks. From then on, they are said to have gone through old marine books to find a mythical creature that they felt represented their company, a siren. These nautical references are also harmonious with the company's birthplace and the major port city, Seattle. Incorporating niche characters into a logo gives personality and warmth to the design. It creates a deeper, richer brand persona to help your audiences connect and remember you. It could be a good idea to think about books you've read over the years. Would any of the characters relate to or symbolize your brand in some way? It might just be one aspect of their personality that your brand shares in its values that you're looking for. As we see in the Starbucks logo, using cultural references in designs makes some of the most memorable logos. That's all for part 1. We will have more logos in part 2.